All right, so once we enter through the portal, the general atmosphere of the land is expected to be dark and gloomy just all year round. Nothing but darkness and gloominess, and it's rumored to have an original soundtrack composed by none other than Danny Elfman.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
No way.
Yes,
That's
that
going to
is
be
awesome.
badass.
Uh-huh.
Oh, my God. I didn't know that.
Now, as you enter the portal, you're going to enter through a graveyard. You're going to walk along this pathway, and it's going to be lined by rows and rows of tombstones, almost like a makeshift fence, guiding you through this winding pathway past this large crypt and into the European-style village of Darkmoor. That's going to be the name of the village that is going to be the central area of Dark Universe. Walking through Darkmoor, it's themed as a village that was once terrorized by monsters. The roots of the tree, kind of like what you saw when you entered it into the portal, the roots of the tree have taken hold of the village, wrapping around the entire town.
Ooh.
The idea there is that it's going to represent the trauma that the people of the village have, for whom the monsters were an everyday threat, that everything just kind of became overgrown and beaten up and just torn to shreds.
Terra firma.
Exactly. And since you have this town just locked in fear, guests might actually see cages hanging from rooftops, weapons at the ready around every single turn.
Sounds like my first marriage.
Hey.
Yeah, the tranquilizer gun that you employed were very useful.
Thank you for supplying me with that.
You're
by the way.
welcome.
It was
You're
tough
welcome.
Tough times.
Armed crossbows will be set up on turrets, and various other weapons will be around in barrels and hanging on the walls, inside of shops. So, just in case the monsters attack, the villagers all have weapons at the ready.
Nice.
Well, thank goodness for that.
Exactly.
Thank them for being so considerate.
And it helps to be prepared.
Because if this world comes to life,
Yes.
I want to be ready.
Yeah. This sounds spooky.
I
want to
help.
Yeah.
Now, at the opposite end of the village street from the portal are broken stone walls.
Ooh.
Like one section of the wall is in the center of the pathway leading out of the village, and there's other sections that frame the exit of the village. Again, almost as if just something just keeps busting through and causing these people all kinds of problems. As guests enter to the right, they'll find Dark Universe's signature dining restaurant, which one can only hope will take its cue from that fabulous Universal Studios Monster Cafe that was taken over by them damn Minions in 2023. And I like the Minions, but I love the Monster Cafe.
That was a cool cafe.
The rumored name for this restaurant depends on how you've heard it, the Steakhouse or Das Steakhouse.
Das Steakhouse, yeah. Yeah.
This is where we dodged.
Yeah.
Now, that's some clever wordplay based on the idea of the steak that is driven through the vampire's heart in order to kill him. That's where it gets the name. It's about a 362-seat restaurant.
Ooh.
And it's expected to be an upscale quick service location. That means you'll order your food from the counter, but then you'll go sit, and then they'll bring you your food when you're ready. Just like kind of like what do you
Like
call it?
Sizzler.
Or I was thinking Leaky Cauldron in Diagon Alley, but okay.
A quick
Sizzler.
service steak place.
I love the Sizzler.
Oh my God. That's awesome.
It should bring it to you.
I am excited now.
I've been walking around the park. I'm tired trying to kill monsters and stuff. I want to sit down and just have a nice meal brought to me.
I remember Sizzler. I love Sizzler. when I
Yeah,
was growing up.
we did Vampire Slayers now.
Damn.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Sizzler.
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 But it's
Universal,
steak.
bring back Sizzler for Kevin.
And they did. The steakhouse. Das Steakhouse.
Das Steakhouse.
Yeah, schnell. I want steak in my tummy now.
The steakhouse is supposed to have large Gothic candle chandeliers hanging above and medieval style decorations all along the walls.
Wow, that's awesome.
It's continuing the motif of having the weapons at the ready. So they're, again, crossbows hanging on the walls, barrels of weapons. Should diners need to go ahead and grab one if the monsters come crashing through while they're trying to eat their steak.
So considerate.
Exactly. In at least one of the concept designs for the restaurant, the centerpiece of the dining hall was supposed to have this massive tree filled with intricate carved figures, I guess kind of like the Tree of Life. So the tree is also set to feature carved scenes depicting all the horrors of the monsters who've haunted this village. So I guess you've had various carvings of monsters and their activities in this tree. But that was one concept that was floated out there at one point. But again, this kind of carries on the motif of the whole idea of the roots from the portal entrance that we saw when we walked in.
Wow.
Across the way from the steakhouse, on the opposite side of the village, is the land's main retail location. Now, details are scarce on this, but there are 2 recent trademarks that were filed. And unlike Kevin when he did Celestial Park, none of this stuff has been made official. I just want to make that clear right now. Like, this is all speculation based on permits and visuals of what they're building over there. So this is how people are putting this together. So yes, details are scarce, but the 2 recent trademarks filed, one was for Pretorius's Scientific Oddities, and the other was for Oddities and Monstrosities.
That's awesome.
And both of those likely represent the store name. Yeah, you're looking at me like...
No. I was gonna stop because like he might hit it because I was gonna ask. Is that like when we went to Universal? Like I bought those shirts, those characters there.
Wait, what are you talking about? Which shirt?
I bought a shirt and they had like all these crazy characters. And like when you said oddities, you remember we went to that one occult type of store?
No. You're thinking of Halloween Horror Nights, and I think that came from a maze that they were doing that year. I don't think this has anything to do with it. Like Pretorius, I don't know if you recognize it, but that's the name of the mad scientist who persuaded Dr. Frankenstein to create the Bride of Frankenstein in the film of the same name. So it could be either or of those. It could be both. It could have 2 gift shops in there for all I know. But those are the 2 names of the gift shops that we're hearing.
Okay.
Now, front and center as you walk through the village is going to be the manor that houses the land's signature e-ticket attraction, which is, again, tentatively called Monsters Unchained: The Frankenstein Experiment. Here is where guests will encounter all the classic Universal monsters, which will have been unleashed by some sort of experiment by Dr. Victoria Frankenstein, a descendant of Dr. Frankenstein.
Of course.
So this would probably be a good place to note that while a lot of the publicity surrounding the land has been centered around encounters with these classic Universal movie monsters, as you can tell, Dr. Victoria Frankenstein... that's not quite how the original movie went. So these monsters have been given a makeover to make them more modern. And they have released visual representations of Frankenstein, Dracula, the Wolfman. And yeah, they have been redone and updated and bear very little resemblance to the monsters from Universal's classic movie. So if you're expecting Bela Lugosi's Dracula, Boris Karloff's Frankenstein, Lon Chaney Jr.'s Wolfman, you're going to be let down. These are more modern versions of that. That's something that, I don't know, I guess we could discuss if y'all wanted to. That's a questionable choice to me, but then again, who knows? Maybe we don't feel like paying likeness rights to like maybe they have likeness rights to sell T-shirts and stuff like that, but they don't have them to recreate those characters in their parks. I don't know, but that was their choice to do.
That would make sense, though. They would have to pay the actors, or right, because it's like a likeness thing.
Well, yeah, pay the
Licenses,
family.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
those guys are long since gone. Yeah.
I kind of dig because it reminds me of Young Frankenstein, the Mel Brooks movie. It was like it's like what a great grandson of Frankenstein, Dr.
Yes.
Frankenstein, brought the monster to life.
Frankenstein, Kevin.
Frankenstein. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Yeah, so that reminds me of that, and so here comes another relative along. Is like, I wonder what my family's been doing. So let me bring these monsters back to life. Oh wow, this is so cool! It works. My family's brilliant. Oops, I messed up.
I got someone to sweep up. Yeah.
So I don't know if it's related to that, but it kind of fits that mold. Is like
Sure.
subsequent members of the Frankenstein family exploring the family name and what they did, and
Finding their great grandfather's diary, and
and then they get hooked, and it's like, oh, I can do this too because it's in my blood.
Yeah.
So Victoria's got it. It's like
She's got it now.
okay.
Yep.
I don't think there's nothing wrong with trying to modernize it, because I think going forward, it would make sense for anyone who's going to that park, because they're not going to be aware of the previous classic history actors or whatnot.
Sure.
So that would make it a little more relative.
Yeah, and look, they bear a striking resemblance. I mean, you can definitely tell who they're supposed to be, but yes, it's not the iconic resemblance.
Right.
Makes sense.
Although there is something kinky about a female Dr. Frankenstein creating the perfect man for her. That is kind of weird.
That
is
you
wild.
always try. That's called changing people. It's wrong. It's totally wrong. It's unethical. As is Frankenstein. Totally unethical.
So anyway, back to the attraction. All right. So the Gothic manor that serves as the attraction's facade is based off of Belgium's Chateau Miranda. It's an iconic and recently demolished Gothic structure that fits in perfectly with the Universal Monsters films of the 30s. And this one, I believe, is confirmed that is exactly what it's going to look like.
That's cool.
Yeah. The queue entry will have guests enter through a gate wall before crossing over a bridge that's over like a dried up old moat. I think it's dried up. I don't think it's actual moat.
Oh my God, that'd be awesome if it was. That's brilliant.